You're sitting at the dinner table, the clink of silverware, steam rising from a bowl of soup, maybe the TV humming somewhere in the background. And then your mom or your dad starts with that sentence. That one sentence you already know by heart. You know, when I was young, and something in you quietly sighs, maybe you smile anyway. Maybe you gently try to steer the conversation somewhere else. Maybe this time you actually feel that small flicker of impatience. But wait, just for a second, wait, because I need to ask you something. Why do they keep telling the same story, over and over, with the exact same details, as if they're saying it for the very first time, and it's not just once? Maybe they told the neighbor the same thing that afternoon. Maybe they called you last week and said almost word for word the exact same thing. And if you pay close attention, you start to notice these stories are never random. It's always the same themes: younger years, a struggle and getting through it, someone they lost, or something they built with their own hands, like they're trying to prove something or hold on to something. But what? Psychology has a very clear answer to this, and it goes so much deeper than you'd expect. First, the aging brain remembers the distant past far more vividly than the recent present. This is one of the most fascinating findings in neuroscience. Short term memory fades, but memories from decades ago, especially the ones that carried real emotion, stay sharp, crystal clear. Your mom might forget what she had for lunch, but that story, that moment, that feeling, she cannot forget. Because to her brain it's still alive. Second, psychologists call this life story consolidation. After 60, the human mind begins working to turn a lived life into something meaningful and whole, like writing the final chapter of a book. Those stories are documents. Each one quietly carries the same message. I was here, I lived, I mattered. Third, and here's the part that might stop you completely. They're telling that story to you, not to just anyone, to you. Because the deepest thing they need in that moment is to be heard by the person they love most, to be seen. This person knows my story. This person remembers me. For someone in their later years, that feeling isn't just comforting. It becomes a fundamental emotional need. And every time you listen, even when it's reluctant, you're meeting that need. Now go back to that dinner table, but look at it differently this time. That moment you felt, not this again. They were actually trying to give you something: themselves, their past, a piece of who they are, pressed gently into your hands. That story might one day be one of the last things they leave behind. And somewhere inside, they might already know that. The next time your mom or dad begins with that familiar sentence, set down your fork, look at them, and this time, really listen. Because when that story ends, it might not start again. If this made you think of someone you love, share it with them. And if you want more content like this, don't forget to subscribe.